In this video, you're going to learn about the self-skill, which is part of the ACT approach to therapy. This is part 2 in a 6-part series, so if you haven't already, I encourage you to go back and watch part 1, where we talk about the skill of diffusion. If you recall, diffusion helps us to realize that we are not our thoughts. Our thoughts are simply the activity of the mind. So if we're not our thoughts, then who are we? Well, the self-skill takes diffusion a step further by helping us to realize that just as we're not our thoughts, we're not the stories that we tell about ourselves either. Think of how often our self-stories get in the way of our mental health. How much time do we spend defending our egos and trying to protect our self-image? We have all kinds of ideas about the person we are. We want to think of ourselves as successful, as hardworking, as smart, strong, and beautiful. Yet often, deep down, we harbor deep insecurities. Trust me, I hear it every day as a therapist. It's so common to fear that in reality, we're worthless, unlovable, and that no one really cares about us. How we think of ourselves can have a huge impact on our mental health. Just as diffusion undermines our identification with our thoughts, the self-skill undermines our entire identity as a whole. It asserts that there is no fixed self that you can call worthless, nor is there a fixed self that you can call important and successful. Stephen Hayes, who is the originator of ACT, says that through realizing that we're not our self-stories, we can come to identify instead with what he calls our transcendent self, which is a sense of self that's not affected by all the ideas and content of our lives. The transcendent self is awareness itself. It is our consciousness, separate from all the stories that we tell. I made a video that explains my take on the transcendent self called Who You Really Are, that you should check out if you're interested. I'll link to it in the description. Now, part of the self-skill is what's called perspective taking. Once your grip on your self-concept begins to loosen, once you're no longer so trapped within yourself, you can begin to experience your interconnection with others, and you can experience social consciousness. You can put yourself in the shoes of others, to notice them noticing you, to feel what they feel, to empathize with others. You can begin to see yourself in others and others in yourself. We're social creatures, and to feel connected with others in this way is crucial for our mental and emotional well-being. Let me give you a couple of exercises from ACT that you can use to let go of your stories about yourself and instead begin to connect with your transcendent self. This exercise is called I am/I am not. So what I want you to do is to take out a piece of paper and write down 3 sentences that begin with I am and then a blank line. On the first 2 lines, write down positive attributes of yourself. Not just descriptive things like I am female, but personal qualities that you really care about, like I am smart, or I am successful, or I am loving. On the last line, do the exact opposite. Write down a negative quality that you're afraid you might have or think you might have. Now go line by line and ask yourself, is this true all the time, everywhere, toward everyone without exception? Be honest. What about the bottom one? Is it always true? If someone could watch you 24/7, would they say the same thing? Our qualities, and therefore our identities, are not as fixed as we think they are they? Next, I want you to change the period to a comma and add or not at the end of each sentence. So for example, I am smart or not. I am funny or not. I am kind or not. I am dumb or not. There are times when we are, and then there are times when we are not. And acknowledging this truth can help us to let go of our attachment to these stories about ourselves. Next, cross out everything that you've written after I am for each sentence. Ask yourself, who would you be without that content? Who are you without all of your stories and defenses? What would it be like to let them go? Who or what are you trying to protect? Sit with these questions without trying to answer them too quickly. One additional exercise you might try is to remind yourself throughout the day that while your awareness contains all things, it is not those things. For example, your awareness contains the TV, but you are not the TV. Your awareness contains thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. Your awareness contains your body, but you are not the body alone. All of these things are a part of you, yes, but the more attached and identified you are with these things, the more you're in danger of suffering. The more we can hold our identities and stories lightly, the greater our mental health will be. Well, that's the self-skill in a nutshell. Let me know if you have questions in the comments, and stay tuned for part 3, where we'll be talking about acceptance. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.